Ty Sheridan is kind of like a nice surprise that was waiting in the wings and is now coming into his own after spending a good deal of time on screen and not getting noticed all that much. In a way, he's been gearing up to take on the bigger roles that have afforded him a great chance to shine. Throughout the last several years, he's been coming up in a big way that has been seen with his roles as a part of the X-Men and as someone that's been helping to keep pop culture rooted in its beginnings, as well as taking it to new heights that leave the audience breathless as they wonder what they can expect next. So far, he's not the megastar that people are wanting, but he's quickly working his way up to this status, since every time he steps on screen he seems to get better and better. It's only a matter of time until he becomes one of the actors we'll look to when we think of great entertainment. Here are a few of his best movies thus far. Number 5. X-Men: Dark Phoenix. Despite the fact that the X-Men movies have been flopping pretty hard at the box office in the last few years, Ty's role as Cyclops is swiftly becoming something that people have been able to count on since he's played the part well, and he's been a great addition since he does seem to embody Scott Summers. While it'd be great if those making these movies would stick more to the source material and scrap everything that's come before, excusing some of the earlier movies, it almost seems as though they're willing to just keep adding gasoline to a dumpster fire until it burns down the entire idea of the X-Men. Number 4. Joe.
What's most important right now is me taking care of Dorothy and Mama.
Gary is the kind of kid you want to pull for since he's doing his best to stay alive and take care of his family, even though his father is an alcoholic and has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Joe is the guy that just can't seem to stay out of trouble sometimes, but is fiercely loyal to Gary after hiring him on, and goes so far as to help Gary out and even defends his family when they're in need. It does end up costing Joe his life, but he gets to die knowing that he did something right before he checked out, which includes watching Gary's father Wade throw himself off of a bridge to his death, the only sensible thing he does in the entire movie. Number 3. Mud.
You used us. You made me a thief!
Mud is kind of a complicated story when you first look at it, but it simplifies as the movie goes on as you come to find out that Mud, the character, is hiding out from those that want to kill him, since he killed a man that was beating his old girlfriend and caused her to miscarry. The two boys that befriend Mud do their best to help him out by bringing him supplies throughout the movie and relaying messages to people for him. But when Ellis, one of the boys, is bitten by a snake, Mud has no choice but to make his way into town to save Ellis's life, thereby allowing those hunting him to take notice of him. Number 2. The Stanford Prison Experiment.
You said something about burglary, but I didn't really do anything.
This still lives in infamy as one of the hardest stories to watch, since it was based on a real-life experiment that went too far. A group of college kids were divided into guards and prisoners in order to see how they would react to one another and their given situation. The downside of this, however, is that giving power and authority to those that can't really handle it is a dangerous proposition and, as it was found out, a very risky move since it traumatized a good number of the students. When conducting experiments, it's usually not a great idea to put one individual over another in this manner, as the presence or even illusion of power can go to some people's heads. Number 1. Ready Player One. A blast from the past is the best way to explain this movie, since Wade is the kind of guy that knows more about the 80s and 90s pop culture than many of the people that grew up in that era. The race to find the 3 keys that will give control of the Oasis to whoever finds it is one that becomes absolutely deadly when IOI enters the fray and throws everything they have at those that try to oppose them. Along with his friends, though, Wade unravels the clues and finds just what was hidden on the other side as he accepts each challenge in order to find the keys and keep the Oasis from falling into the wrong hands. He's going to be an even bigger star eventually.